Coming back from the Success Summit in August with Tom Ferry, one of the big topics right now is what do we do to create more business from a new listing? In this video, I'm going to break down what I'm doing with my coaching clients to expand their marketing to create more clients per every new listing. If we haven't met yet, my name is Patrick Ferry. I'm a coach with my brother Tom Ferry's company. Let's dive in. What do we do when we get a new listing? And how do we create more results? Step number one, which is I created a memory jogger. Now, what do I mean by this memory jogger? What I started to do either for myself as an agent here in San Diego, taking listings, or as a coach now full time, what I started to do is just write down every really good idea that I can come up with. What I did is I just created a simple spreadsheet. And on that spreadsheet, I just wrote out every one of the best ideas for marketing for myself to generate new clients. Tom did a great job with the video and he outlined 13 different marketing tactics or ideas. There's a big flywheel, a session at the Success Summit where there's another 10 or 15 amazing ideas that we can be running to create new opportunities. I know Jimmy Mackin with listingleads.com is providing lots of great emails or social media videos. There's so many really good ideas. The problem is we don't have a memory jogger to go look at them. I was sharing with a bunch of my coaching clients that we need to do 2 marketing plans. And so I want to separate the marketing plans. Marketing plan number 1 is the plan that I promised my seller that I would run to get the home sold. Okay. That's marketing plan number 1 that we all need to have a really good SOP, a good checklist. We should have that, an extraordinary presentation that we share with our potential sellers where they go, wow, that's a really great plan. Thank you. I want to hire you to complete that plan. Plan number 2 is our plan to get more buyers to the open house so that we can help them. Plan number 2 is to meet more of the sellers in the community so that we can get the next listing appointment, or to grow our brand with our community, our sphere, our online followers, or in our email database to let people know that we are a successful real estate agent that is listing and selling a lot of properties. So in this video, I want to focus on plan number 2, which is what is our plan to generate new opportunities. So you could see that as soon as I started coaching my clients, I said, we need to have a micro SOP. Micro SOP. You go get a listing contract signed. You come into the office the next day. You're all excited. Now the clock is ticking between I signed the contract to on the MLS where you say publish and it goes live. Inside of that time slot, we need to have a moment where you stop and you look at the memory jogger of all these amazing ideas of things that we could or should do. Now, a lot of my coaching clients will say, Patrick, how many homes should I be marketing to on the just listed, just sold? Or should I do calls? Should I do ringless voicemail? Should I do social media? Should I do a YouTube video? And the answer is yes, but the question comes back to you. And this is where we need to have it in the micro SOP. Maybe the day after you get the listing contract signed, you have an appointment with yourself where you review all of your options and you have to make some decisions. Decision number 1, is this a hot property? Is this something that you should do more of an expensive, elaborate YouTube video? Is this not a great presentation? Are you going to do a ton of work on preparing the property where there's lots of great social content? There's lots of content on how to prepare a home for sale. Are you going to have a lot of time between the time that you go on the market to maybe engage with the community? Are you not going to have a lot of time? Is this property going to shine? Do you think you're going to get multiple offers? We need to be preparing for that. Do you think that you're going to get a great review from the homeowner because they're following your advice, they trust you, they respect you, or are they resisting you? Are they pushing you a little bit? Are they asking you to list at a higher price than probably what you really want to get it sold? Then is this community, is it a tight-knit community of maybe 200 homes and it's a name, it's a subdivision that you can market to every homeowner in the subdivision, right? Or is this just a loose area? Is this an area that's highly important to the growth of your business? Maybe this should be one of your next geographic farms. Is this in your geographic territory that you want to dominate? Or is it geographically a little bit undesirable? See, I can't answer those questions for you. Only you can answer those questions. And then those questions will now determine what is your marketing plan for this property for you to be able to generate great opportunities. Step number 1 is let's separate the 2 marketing plans. Step number 2, in your new micro SOP, have a meeting with yourself, have a meeting with your VA or with your marketing team or someone at your office who helps you with marketing. And let's come up with what's the appropriate plan moving forward. Hey guys, pardon the interruption. If you're enjoying this content, make sure you give it a thumbs and hit that subscribe button. I appreciate that. And down below in the description boxes, all the companies that I have affiliates with or referrals with, it just supports me and continue to provide this great content. Of course, book an appointment to get a virtual assistant so that you can have this marketing plan running for you. Connect with Sphere Rocket down below, or Sierra Interactive, or Property Radar for all of the great data around that listing. If you want to get those expired cancels within that community, you definitely want LandVoice. There's High Note for your pre-listing presentation. They're doing an extraordinary job. So I appreciate you supporting me. All right, back to the episode. Now, let's take a look at some of your options. The third thing that I really want to help focus all my coaching clients on is, okay, look at the stages of the listing process, and then what are the best marketing strategies to the stage. We've seen with Tom Ferry, he's highlighted the young guy who does the video on the way to a listing appointment, signaling to his social media that he has potentially an up and coming seller. He's not violating any ethical rules because it's not a listing yet. Should we be telling people about before we get the listing contract signed? Once we have the listing contract signed, now what's that content between listing contract signed and on the market? Maybe we're doing some content about home preparation, which is the big topic, behind the scenes content, which is fantastic for signaling to sellers that you have strategies, you have tactics, you have advice on how to prepare the home before it comes to the market. Is this property one that you are going to communicate with the neighbors and invite the neighbors to the open house? Is this going to be an event where you're going to do some food, or you're going to do a raffle? Are you going to do some guess the price strategies? I'd see all these on my memory jogger. Then, of course, stage 2 is on the market. Did you get a lot of activity from the open house? Was it a little bit slower? Is that a seasonal or a cycle thing? Was that something that is newsworthy for you to report on? Okay. If you did get multiple offers and you got an offer accepted, man, that's really great content back to the neighbors regarding the demand for this particular community. And that's a great signal to the next seller in the community. Also, it's a great signal to your database and to your social community, your online brand, that your marketing plan in today's market is really strong in terms of buyer activity for properties like X. So there's that stage. And then there's the under contract stage. And this is where I think a lot of agents really have a lot of interesting advice around preparing a property for sale and seller disclosures. There's second negotiations on things that were unknown, and then how you negotiated that. And then those are some great advice to future sellers on how to prepare the property better for avoiding some of those unknowns. Maybe there's some advice today on how we are negotiating with buyers and talking to our sellers about concessions to offset the compensation with the buyer's agent, with their agreement. This is some new information about how we're handling that. So there's that stage. Then, of course, there's the last stage, which is the closing, which is getting the seller testimonial. And what are we doing there with the seller testimonial? We want to look at each one of these stages, look at what are the best ways for you to signal to your community that you are a great agent who does extraordinary work through the timeline of the process. My friends, the problem is we're all moving too fast, and there is a lot of work when we get a new listing. And so if we don't have a good plan going in to the listing and to the going live with that listing, really, we're just going to miss a lot of opportunities. So last but not least, let's talk a little bit about platforms and strategies. We really do, when we look at our memory jogger, we got to look at all of our options. We got everything from what are we going to do with Facebook? Are we going to do Facebook ad? Are we going to just do a Facebook organic post? Are we going to do it for all of the stages? There's Instagram Reels, Instagram Stories. What are we doing there? Then we got LinkedIn. Is there something that we should be discussing on LinkedIn about this particular property? Maybe something a little bit more professional that we need to be discussing and teaching to. What about YouTube? Is there a YouTube short? Are we going to run the YouTube long evergreen strategy, the inside tour of an extraordinary property in community name? What an amazing strategy for building a portfolio of YouTube videos where you are teaching people what a great real estate professional you are when you're showcasing properties. Is there an opportunity for a blog post or building a community page on your website? This is the benefits of a Sierra Interactive website is, do you have a page for that subdivision? Could we add a new page and add a new homes for sale subdivision and add some content to that where you can attract future organic for free leads with this particular listing? This a community that you want to add into a geographic farm. If you attracted a new buyer and you picked up a new buyer for this community, if you got a second listing, you're highly profitable on this one listing. Should we turn this 200 subdivision into a 12-month geographic farm strategy where we can just set it and forget it and get 1 or 2 more listings in the next 12 months, leading with income, leading with profitability from this. Then, of course, there's the Google Business Profile, which I've discussed a lot. There's the under contract, there's the just listed, the open house, and then just sold. When you get the testimonial, what are we doing with that? Are we sending back a letter into the community with the seller recommending you as a highly professional agent? Do we have a commitment to meeting enough neighbors and adding them to your home bot, your home value, and getting them to say yes to following the value of their home with you? My friends, there's so many great strategies that we could be applying to all these different platforms in so many different ways. The big problem that I see is 2 things. A, we didn't first separate our mind. One is marketing plan, promise to our seller to get the home sold. 2 is for you. Number 2, we need that micro SOP, that mini meeting with yourself where you review all of your options. And that's where the memory jogger kicks in. And then number 3 is to really look at all the different platforms, the different ways that we can communicate effectively as a real estate professional out into the online world, or even into the neighborhoods and the communities. Let's get to work on your memory jogger, your new SOP, and your new marketing plan for you to generate huge amounts of opportunities with every listing that you take. All right, I hope you enjoyed this session, and we'll see you on the next one.